Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. So in our last lecture, we have seen two problems related to the Bell-Coleman cycle. So was those two problems sufficient related to Bell-Coleman cycle, or is it necessary to solve one more problem related to Bell-Coleman cycle? Have you understood those two problems related to Bell-Coleman cycle? So if you have understood, then we'll switch to the next part. What should we do? Should we solve one more problem related to Bell-Coleman cycle, or should we switch to the next point? Write in the comment box. Those students who are present for the previous lecture, they have to only write down the comment in the comment box. Have you understood both the problem? If you understood both the problem, then it is not necessary to solve third problem, because type of problem will be similar or slightly difference will be there. So if you are understood, then we'll switch to the next part. So as we are knowing that our chapter number 1 is consisting of total 3 parts: part A, part B, and part C. So out of that, part A we have covered. That part A was related to the Bell-Coleman cycle, or related to the reverse Carnot cycle and Bell-Coleman cycle, or air refrigeration system. Now whatever part B will be there, that part B will be related to the air refrigeration system for aircraft refrigeration. Part B will be related to the air refrigeration system for aircraft refrigeration. So whenever we are considering any of the aeroplane which is moving through the air, suppose this is the aeroplane which is moving through the air, so it is common assumption that whenever any aeroplane is moving through the atmosphere, so it is not necessary to provide the conditioning air. It is not necessary to provide the conditioning air to the passengers which are sitting inside the passenger cabin of that aeroplane. Why? Because our common assumption is that whenever altitude goes on increasing from the Earth's surface, whenever altitude goes on increasing from the Earth's surface, as we are knowing that Earth's surface, above the Earth's surface, there are so many layers. So as latitude goes on increasing, the temperature of the air normally goes on decreasing. And because of this conception, our assumption is that aeroplane did not require any of the air conditioning system or any of the air conditioning system to the or for the passengers which are sitting inside the aeroplane cabin. But there are so many factors. Those are nothing but internal factors and external factors which are increasing the heat, or which are adding the heat inside the passenger cabin, and because of the same, there will be the necessity for providing the air conditioning for the aeroplane or for the aircraft, because whatever human beings are sitting inside the aeroplane cabin, those human beings will feel comfortable at temperature nearly equal to 25 degrees centigrade. The persons which are sitting inside the aeroplane cabin, those will feel comfortable if we are going to provide the temperature of the air inside the passenger cabin nearly equal to 25 degrees centigrade. Then and then only those persons or passengers will feel comfortable. And to provide that 25 degrees centigrade temperature, we have to consider the various parameters. Which are nothing but external parameters as well as internal parameters, which are continuously adding the heat inside the aeroplane cabin, and because of which we require to provide the air conditioning system for the aeroplane cabin. So basically there will be two types of parameter. First type of parameter, so the points or the point which we are going to deal with is nothing but the necessity of air conditioning system or air refrigeration system for aircraft refrigeration. Whether PPT is visible? Yes. Okay. So our common assumption is that the aeroplane which is traveling at a higher altitude does not require the air conditioning system. but there are some external parameters as well as some internal parameters which are adding the heat inside the aeroplane cabin. And because of heat addition inside the aeroplane cabin, the temperature inside the aeroplane cabin goes on increasing. So to feel comfortable for the passengers which are sitting inside the aeroplane cabin, we require to provide the air refrigeration system to cool the aeroplane cabin. Now, which are the external parameters which are adding the heat inside the aeroplane cabin? So out of that, first parameter is nothing but maintain the pressure inside the aeroplane cabin. Now, whenever we are considering any of the aeroplane, whenever we are considering any of the aeroplane which is traveling at a higher altitude, suppose this is the distance, suppose 10 kilometer from the earth surface. So at higher altitude, pressure of the air, at higher altitude, pressure of the air goes on decreasing. Pressure of the air goes on decreasing. That means whatever surrounding pressure will be there at higher altitude surrounding to that aeroplane, will have the pressure less than atmospheric pressure. Will have the pressure, this ambient pressure will be less than atmospheric pressure. So if we are going to provide the air which is surrounding to that aeroplane, so we require to compress that surrounding air which is having the pressure less than our atmospheric pressure. So we have to take the ambient air, we have to compress that ambient air, and after compressing that ambient air, we have to increase the pressure of that ambient air up to the atmospheric pressure, and because of compression, we are knowing that during compression process heat will be added, and because of this compression process heat will be added during the compression process, and because of the same, temperature of the air inside the aeroplane cabin will goes on increasing. So this is the first external factors which is adding the heat inside the aeroplane cabin. So first external factor is nothing but maintain the pressure inside the aeroplane cabin. So why we have to require, or why it is necessary to maintain the pressure? Because surrounding to that aeroplane at higher altitude, whatever ambient air will be there, that ambient air will have the pressure less than atmospheric pressure. So to provide the atmospheric pressure, we require to compress the ambient air. And because of compression of ambient air, the temperature inside the aeroplane cabin will goes on increasing. So that is the first external factor. Now, second external factor is nothing but sun rays on the surface of the aeroplane. Now, if we are considering this as a earth surface and this as a aeroplane or altitude of the aeroplane from the earth surface, and if you consider the sun rays, so this as a sun. So whatever sun rays are coming on the earth surface from the sun, so those sun rays has to travel normally this much distance while coming those sun rays on the earth surface, and in between this much distance there will be number of layers, stratosphere, such types of environmental layers will be there. But whenever we are considering the aeroplane, so as that aeroplane is at higher altitude, from the earth surface, that's why whatever sun rays are coming on that aeroplane, those will have the higher intensity, as compared to the sun rays which are coming on the earth surface. And whenever those higher intensity sun rays will come in contact with the aeroplane, so the outer surface of that aeroplane will goes on heating, as well as whatever windows of that aeroplane will be there, so through that windows, that higher intensity sun rays will come directly inside of the aeroplane cabin, and because of the same, the temperature of the air inside the aeroplane cabin will goes on increasing. So this is the second external parameter, or this is the second external factor which is increasing the temperature inside the aeroplane cabin. Are you getting? This is the second parameter. Now third parameter is nothing but skin friction. Now what is meant by skin friction? So whenever we are considering any of the aeroplane, suppose this as an aeroplane which is moving, suppose towards this direction, suppose this is the surrounding air or ambient air. This is the surrounding or ambient air. So whenever any aeroplane is moving with a fast speed through that ambient air, so whatever surface of that aeroplane will be there. So surrounding to that surface of aeroplane, whatever air will be there, that air will get compressed. म्हणजे ही जी काही एअर होती त्यावेळेस हे एरोप्लेन ह्या ठिकाणी येईल त्यावेळेस ही एअर काय होणार आहे कॉम्प्रेस होणार आहे. सो दॅट कॉम्प्रेस्ड एअर, so because of this shape of aeroplane, there will be the compressed air which will be in contact with the surface of the aeroplane. And as we are knowing that compressed air will have the higher temperature. So here that compressed air will give the heat to that aeroplane cabin through conduction, convection, and radiation. Through conduction, convection, and radiation. And because of the same, the temperature inside the aeroplane cabin will goes on increasing. So this parameter will be called as a skin friction. Skin friction म्हणजे काय नेमकं ज्यावेळेस एरोप्लेन मूव्ह होईल, हाय स्पीड न मूव्ह होईल त्यावेळेस काय होणार आहे जे काय एम्बियंट एअर असणार आहे ते एम्बियंट एअर काय होणार आहे कॉम्प्रेस होणार आहे. आणि तो कॉम्प्रेस लेअर जो असणार आहे तो कॉम्प्रेस लेअर कशाच्या कॉन्टॅक्ट मध्ये असणार आहे. दॅट कॉम्प्रेस लेअर विल बी इन कॉन्टॅक्ट विथ द aeroplane surface, and as that compressed layer will have the higher temperature, so that higher temperature compressed air will give the heat to that aeroplane cabin, and because of the same the temperature of the air inside the aeroplane cabin will goes on increasing. So these are the three external parameters. These are the three external parameters which are adding the heat inside the aeroplane cabin. Now along with external parameter, there are some internal parameters also. There are some internal parameters also which are adding the heat inside the airplane cabin. So first internal parameter is nothing but passengers or human beings. So as this is the aeroplane, so inside the aeroplane cabin there will be the number of passenger or number of human beings will be there along with pilot. So each and every human body is having the tendency to reject the heat. Each and every human body is having the tendency to reject the heat to the surrounding. So one normal human being can reject near about 400 kilojoule amount of heat. One normal human being can reject near about 400 kilojoule amount of heat per hour to the surrounding when that human being will be at a rest condition. So 400 into number of person, that means that much amount of heat will be rejected or that much amount of heat will be absorbed by the air which is available inside the aeroplane cabin, or that much amount of heat will be rejected by the passenger which are sitting inside the aeroplane cabin into the air of aeroplane cabin. So because of this same because of this the temperature of air inside the aeroplane cabin will goes on increasing. So first parameters which is affecting or which is adding the heat inside the aeroplane cabin, that is nothing but the passenger or human being. Second parameter is nothing but the electrical as well as electronic component used for control of the aeroplane. So for controlling of the aeroplane we are using number of electrical as well as electronic component. So each and every electrical as well as electronic component will consisting of various electrical equipment. That means through that electrical equipment electricity will be passing, and whenever there will be the supply of electricity or transport of electricity, resistance will be generated, and because of that resistance heat will be generated. That means here whatever electrical as well as electronic component we are using, for control purpose, those electrical as well as electronic component will also add the heat inside the aeroplane cabin, and because of the same the temperature of the air inside the aeroplane cabin will goes on increasing. So this is the second internal parameter which is adding the heat inside the aeroplane cabin. Third internal parameter is nothing but engine. So as that aeroplane is self-propelled device, that means that aeroplane will have the engine. So as there is an engine, so heat transition or heat transfer will always take place because of conduction, convection, and radiation. So because of that engine component, there will be the always transfer of heat from engine component to the aeroplane cabin either by conduction, convection, or radiation, and that will also add the heat or that will also increase the temperature inside the aeroplane cabin. So these are the some of the internal as well as external parameter, and by combining this all the parameter, by combining this all the parameter, those are nothing but internal as well as external parameter, the temperature of the air inside the aeroplane cabin will goes on. For normal human being, for feeling of comfort, the temperature which we have to maintain inside the aeroplane cabin, that is nothing but 25 degrees centigrade. So if the temperature inside the aeroplane cabin will increases above 25 degrees centigrade, then whatever passengers are sitting inside the aeroplane cabin, those will feel discomfort. So for feeling of comfort, we have to supply, or we have to maintain that comfort condition inside the aeroplane cabin. And to maintain that comfort condition inside the aeroplane cabin, we have to provide the air refrigeration system for aircraft or for aeroplane. So this is the first point, called as a necessity of air refrigeration system for aircraft or aeroplane. Are you getting why there is a necessity of providing air refrigeration system for aircraft refrigeration? So this is the necessity. Now, there will be various types of air refrigeration systems. There will be various types of air refrigeration systems through which we can maintain, or through which we can maintain the comfortable condition inside the aircraft or inside the aeroplane. So there will be basically four types of air refrigeration system, and whatever first two will be there, that will be again classified into two types. So first, basic air refrigeration system, which is provided, first basic air refrigeration system which is provided for aircraft as well as aeroplane, is nothing but the simple air cooling system. That is called as a simple air cooling system. And here, that simple air cooling system will be modified, or the efficiency of that simple air cooling system, or effectiveness or COP of simple air cooling system, will be increased by adding the evaporator. So this is the modification in the simple air cooling system, called as a simple air evaporative cooling system. So simple air evaporative cooling system is the modification inside the simple air cooling system. Then second basic system, which is used for air refrigeration of the aircraft, that is called as a bootstrap air cooling system. That is called as a bootstrap air cooling system. So the COP of bootstrap air cooling system will have the higher value as compared to simple air cooling system. Again, there will be modification in that bootstrap air cooling system. So after modification in that bootstrap air cooling system, the system will be called as a bootstrap air evaporative cooling system. That means only evaporator will be added. Only evaporator will be added inside the bootstrap air cooling system. So that will be called as a bootstrap air evaporative cooling system. Then third basic system is called as a reduced ambient air cooling system. Third one is called as a reduced ambient air cooling system. And last one is called as a regenerative air cooling system. Last one is called as a regenerative air cooling system. So whatever B part of our chapter number 1 is there, whatever B part of our chapter number 1 is there, that is nothing but the air refrigeration system for aircraft. So that will consist of mainly this four system, and first two system will be modified, and that will be called as a simple air evaporative and bootstrap air evaporative cooling system. So for your university exam, they will ask the question that explain the bootstrap air evaporative cooling system with the help of neat sketch, as well as plot that system on the TS diagram, as well as plot that system on the TS diagram. So whatever these systems will be there, we have to explain those systems with the help of neat sketch, as well as we have to plot those systems on the TS diagram also. Are you getting? So this is called as a various types of air refrigeration systems which are used for cooling of the aeroplane, or which are used for cooling of the aircraft. Are you getting? So we'll see all those four systems one by one. So first of all, we'll see simple air cooling system, which is used for aircraft refrigeration. So this is the schematic diagram of simple air cooling system. So here, one by one, I will explain how to draw this system. So first of all, we have to draw this cabin. So this is the part of aircraft. This part is attached to the aircraft. So this is the part which is being attached to the aircraft, this entire part, and outside of this entire part, हा जो complete part आहे, so this entire part will be attached to the aircraft. Okay, this much part will be attached to the aircraft. So at higher altitude, we are knowing that whatever surrounding air will be there, surrounding to that aircraft, so that surrounding air will be called as the ambient air. So this is nothing but the ambient air. Ambient air means simply the air which is surrounding to that aeroplane at a higher altitude. Now we are knowing that ambient air will have some pressure and some temperature. So if I am considering this as a point number 1, so here I'm assuming that ambient air is having the pressure as a ambient pressure PA and temperature as a T1. So ambient air is having the pressure as a PA and temperature as a T1. Now that ambient air or surrounding air will be taken inside the aeroplane. That ambient or surrounding air will be taken inside the aeroplane, and while taking, because here that aeroplane is in motion, so because of motion of the aeroplane, whatever ambient air will be coming inside the aeroplane, that air will be coming because of the ramming effect. That effect is called as a ramming effect. So whatever 1 to 2 process will be there, that will be called as a ramming process. That air will be coming inside the aeroplane because of ramming effect. So to understand the ramming effect, simple example is consider you are traveling through the bus or you are traveling through the car, and you are sitting near to the window of bus, and suppose that window is open. You open that window of that bus or window of you open the window of car. So whenever you are going to open the window of bus or window of car, you will observe that whatever air is coming from surrounding into the bus or into the car, that air will have the higher pressure as well as higher velocity. Higher pressure air will be coming inside the window of the or inside the car. ज्यावेळेस तुम्ही बस मधून जाताय किंवा एखाद्या कार मधून जाताय आणि तुम्ही जर खिडकीच्या शेजारी जर बसला असाल आणि जर खिडकीचं जर थोडस जरी ओपनिंग असेल, खिडकी पूर्ण ओपन करण्यापेक्षा थोडी जरी ओपन असेल, तर तुम्हाला जी काय एक्सपिरियन्स येतोय त्या ठिकाणी काय येतं, जी काय आउटसाइडची एअर असते किंवा सराउंडिंगची एअर असते ती काय होते, हायर प्रेशरनं आतमध्ये येते. सो दॅट इफेक्ट इज कॉल्ड एज अ रॅमिंग इफेक्ट. So similar case will be observed in case of aeroplane. So as that aeroplane is in motion, so there will be small opening. Through that small opening, the surrounding air will come inside the aeroplane. And that effect will be called as a ramming effect. So that ramming process is normally considered as a reversible adiabatic process. Ramming process is normally considered as a reversible adiabatic process, but in actual practice, because of friction, because whenever that air is coming inside the aeroplane, so friction will occur, and because of that friction, that process will not be the reversible. So that process will become as a irreversible process. So that process will not become as a reversible adiabatic, that means isentropic process or isentropic ramming. So that will be the polytropic process. So here, whatever 1 to 2 process will be there. 1 to 2 process means ambient air is coming inside the aeroplane because of the ramming air, because of the ramming action, and because of the same, here ambient pressure will get converted into ram pressure. So here I'm considering point number 2. I'm considering point number 2 as a condition of ram air. Point number 2 as a condition of ram air. And as I am knowing that pressure of that air should goes on increasing because of ramming effect. So here at point number 2, whatever pressure of the air will be there, that will be the ramming pressure. So I'm considering PR is nothing but the ramming pressure. As well as there will be some changes in the temperature. If I'm considering T1 is nothing but the temperature of the ambient air. So after ramming, whatever air will come inside the aeroplane, that temperature of that air will be equal to T2. So here I'm getting the point number 2. Point number 2 is nothing but the ram air or condition of ram air. Now, part of that ram air will be taken by the compressor during suction stroke of compressor. So out of that ram air, some amount of air will be compressed inside the main compressor. So here that main compressor will have its suction. So through that suction, that part of ram air will be taken, that will be compressed inside the main compressor. And because of compression inside the main compressor, the temperature as well as pressure of air will goes on increasing or will goes on changing. तर कॉम्प्रेसरच्या इनलेटला आपलं एअरचं टेम्परेचर आणि प्रेशर काय होतं PR आणि T2 म्हणजे रॅम एअरची जी काय कंडिशन होती रॅम प्रेशर अँड टेम्परेचर T2. So because of compression inside the main compressor, the temperature as well as pressure of that compressed air will goes on changing. So here if I'm considering point number 3 as the outlet of main compressor, if I'm considering point number 3 as the outlet of main compressor and outlet of main compressor is having the pressure, या ठिकाणी काय होणार आहे कॉम्प्रेशन होणार आहे. कॉम्प्रेशन झाल्यामुळे काय होणार आहे रॅम प्रेशरचं कन्व्हर्जन या ठिकाणी कशामध्ये होणार आहे म्हणजे ह्या ठिकाणी रॅम प्रेशर म्हणजे कोणतं असणार आहे सक्शन प्रेशर असणार आहे. सक्शन प्रेशर ऑफ कॉम्प्रेसर इज नथिंग बट रॅम प्रेशर. And here inside the compressor, compression process will take place and pressure will increase up to the delivery pressure of the main compressor. And at the same time, temperature of the air will also goes on increasing. म्हणजे कॉम्प्रेस्ड एअरचं प्रेशर पण आणि टेम्परेचर पण वाढलेलं असणार आहे ऍज कम्पेअर टू रॅम एअर. आर यू गेटिंग? सो हिअर आउटलेट ऑफ मेन कॉम्प्रेसर आय एम गोइंग टू कन्सिडर दिस एज अ पॉईंट नंबर 3. आता कुठं कुठं पॉईंट द्यायचे आता ह्या ठिकाणी तुम्हाला पॉईंट 1 2 3 4 5 दिसतील. कंप्लीट एंटायर सिस्टीम मध्ये तुम्हाला वेगवेगळे पॉईंट द्यायचे ज्या ठिकाणी थर्मोडायनेमिक चेंजेस होते. थर्मोडायनेमिक चेंजेस म्हणजे त्या एअरच्या प्रॉपर्टीमध्ये आयदर टेम्परेचर प्रेशर किंवा अजून कोणती प्रॉपर्टी जर चेंज झाली आयदर टेम्परेचर प्रेशर व्हॉल्यूम काय जरी चेंज झाले तरी आपल्याला काय देतात ती थर्मोडायनेमिक प्रोसेस झालेली आहे म्हणजे त्या ठिकाणी आपल्याला काय देतात पॉईंट देतात. ती प्रोसेस कोणती आहे ती आपल्याला ऑब्झर्व करायची. सो हिअर 1 to 2 प्रोसेस इज नथिंग बट हिअर 1 to 2 process is nothing but ramming process. 1 to 2 process is nothing but ramming process. 2 to 3 process is nothing but compression process inside the main compressor. That is also called as a isentropic compression process inside the main compressor. And because of this compression process, pressure of the ram air will increase from ramming pressure to the delivery pressure. Now, whatever point number 3 is there, which is having the pressure as a PD and temperature as a T3. So part of that air or part of that compressed air will be taken by the combustion chamber. So here inside the combustion chamber, so combustion fuel will be burned and here exhaust gases will be generated. So with the help of that exhaust gases, here we have to run the gas turbine. So here what is the main aim of combustion chamber? Combustion chamber is used to run the gas turbine. So to run that gas turbine, we have to have high pressure gas. So to generate that high pressure gas, here fuel will be mixed with the high pressure air, and because of this air fuel mixture, the burning of air fuel mixture will generate the high pressure gases, and because of that high pressure gases, this gas turbine will be or there will be the working of gas turbine, or that gas turbine will be propelled. So as we are knowing that gas turbine is a work producing device. So whatever work will be produced by that gas turbine, that will be utilized to run the compressor. But here whatever this part is there, this part is not in our that means this part we are not considering for our cooling of the air process. Our main cooling of the air process will take place in this direction. Now here, whatever remaining air will be there, some part of compressed air is taken by combustion chamber. Inside the combustion chamber, air fuel mixture is burned, and because of burning of air fuel mixture, whatever compress or whatever exhaust gases will be there, that exhaust gases will be supplied to the gas turbine, and because of the same, gas turbine will be propelled, and energy obtained from gas turbine will be utilized to run the main compressor. To run the main compressor. Now whatever remaining part of compressed air will be there. आता remaining part of compressed air ला काय असणार आहे, प्रेशर सेमच असणार आहे, डिलिव्हरी प्रेशरच असणार आहे आणि टेम्परेचर सेमच असणार, कारण की ह्या ठिकाणी कोणती थर्मोडायनामिक प्रोसेस झालीच नाही. जी काय थर्मोडायनामिक प्रोसेस झालेली आहे ती कंबशन चेंबर मध्ये झालेली आहे. तर त्या तिकडे लक्ष द्यायची आपल्याला गरजच नाही, कारण की आपल्याला काय करायचं आहे, लक्ष कुणीकडे द्यायचं, ज्या ठिकाणी आपण कुलिंग ऑफ एअर करणार आहे, जे की आपण एअर कूल्ड करून ते आपण एरोप्लेन केबिनला प्रोव्हाइड करणार आहे, त्या सिस्टीमकडे आपल्याला लक्ष द्यायचं. सो हियर whatever remaining amount of air will be there, which is having the pressure as a delivery pressure and temperature as a T3, that will be supplied to the heat exchanger. That will be supplied to the heat exchanger. Now here, this is the start of heat exchanger. So at the start of heat exchanger, whatever air will be there, that will have the pressure as a delivery pressure and temperature as a T3. And temperature as a T3. Now here, this compressed air will be passed through this coil of heat exchanger, and as we are knowing that this compressed air is having higher temperature and higher pressure, that's why to cool that compressed air, some part of ram air we are taking. So whatever part of ram air will be there, that part of ram air will be passed over this cooling coil. Part of ram air will be passed over this cooling coil. Now if you compare the temperature, between ram air and compressed air, टेम्परेचर बिटवीन रॅम एअर अँड कॉम्प्रेस्ड एअर, रॅम एअर म्हणजे टेम्परेचर काय होतं, T2 होतं, कॉम्प्रेस्ड एअरचं टेम्परेचर काय झालेलं आहे, T3 झालेलं आहे. म्हणजे T3 काय आहे, ग्रेटर दॅन T2 आहे, कारण की ह्या ठिकाणी काय झालेलं आहे, कॉम्प्रेशन झालेलं आहे. सो हियर T3 will have the higher temperature as compared to T2. That's why here inside the heat exchanger at a constant pressure, some amount of heat will be rejected. Some amount of heat will be rejected by the compressed air to the ram air, and because of the same, here at the outlet of heat exchanger, we are getting the point number 4. Why point number 4? Because inside the heat exchanger there is a thermodynamic process, which is that process that compressed air will reject some amount of heat to the ram air at a constant pressure, and because of the same, temperature of that compressed air will go on decreasing, but pressure should remain same. कॉम्प्रेस हीट एक्सचेंजरच्या इनलेटला प्रेशर काय होतं, PD होतं. सो ऍट द आउटलेट ऑफ हीट एक्सचेंजर प्रेशर विल रिमेन सेम, दॅट इज नथिंग बट डिलिव्हरी प्रेशर, ओनली देयर विल बी द चेंज इन टेम्परेचर. सो टेम्परेचर विल गोज ऑन डिक्रीजिंग फ्रॉम T3 to T4. Now whatever this outlet of heat exchanger will be there, that will be supplied to the cooling turbine. So inside the cooling turbine, the expansion of air will take place. And because of expansion, we are knowing that in expansion we are decreasing the pressure, and at the same time the temperature of air will also go on decreasing. So here whatever next process 4 to 5 will take place, that will take place inside the cooling turbine. So whatever outlet of heat exchanger will be there, that outlet of heat exchanger will be provided to the cooling turbine. So inside the cooling turbine, expansion of that compressed air will take place. Because of expansion, pressure of the air will goes on decreasing from delivery pressure to the cabin pressure. म्हणजे ह्या ठिकाणी कूलिंग टर्बाइन मध्ये आपण जे काही एक्सपान्शन करणार आहे, कुठपर्यंत एक्सपांड करणार आहे ती एअर, जे प्रेशर आपल्याला केबिन मध्ये पाहिजे, दॅट इज नियरली इक्वल टू ऍटमॉस्फेरिक प्रेशर. केबिन प्रेशर म्हणजे काय, त्या एरोप्लेनच्या केबिन मध्ये जे काय human being बसणार आहेत. So surrounding to those passenger or human being, whatever pressure we are maintaining, that will be called as a cabin pressure. That cabin pressure value should be nearly equal to atmospheric pressure value. So here, because of expansion inside the cooling turbine, pressure of the compressed air will be decreased up to the cabin pressure, and at the same time temperature of that air will also goes on decreasing. Temperature of that air will also goes on decreasing from T4 to T5. Now whatever this point number 5 will be there, that is nothing but outlet of cooling turbine. That outlet of cooling turbine will be supplied to the cabin of aeroplane. म्हणजे ज्या ठिकाणी पॅसेंजर बसणार आहेत किंवा ज्या ठिकाणी तुमचा पायलट ऍज वेल एज ह्युमन बिंग बसणार आहेत त्या ठिकाणी that is called as a cabin of aeroplane. So to that cabin of aeroplane, this condition air का म्हणतोय आपण, कारण की ह्या ठिकाणी जी काही एअर असणार आहे त्याचं प्रेशर काय असणार आहे, केबिन प्रेशर असणार आहे, आणि त्याचे जे काही टेम्परेचर असणार आहे ते टेम्परेचर काय असणार आहे, लेस दॅन 25 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड असणार आहे. लेस दॅन 25 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड असल्यामुळे काय करणार आहे, ही जी काही कमी टेम्परेचरची एअर आहे ते काय करणार आहे, तुमच्या एरोप्लेनच्या केबिन मध्ये जी काही हीट जनरेट होत होती, एक्सटर्नल आणि इंटरनल पॅरामीटर मुळे जी काही हीट जनरेट होत होती ती काय करणार आहे, ऍब्झॉर्ब करणार आहे. त्यामुळे ह्या ठिकाणी काय राहणार आहे, टेम्परेचर जे आहे एरोप्लेन केबिनचं ते मेंटेन राहणार आहे. आर यू गेटिंग? नाउ ऍज कूलिंग टर्बाइन इज अ वर्क प्रोड्युसिंग डिव्हाइस, कूलिंग टर्बाइन इज अ वर्क प्रोड्युसिंग डिव्हाइस, म्हणजे ह्या ठिकाणी एक्सपान्शन प्रोसेस झाल्यामुळे जे काही वर्क ऑब्टेन होणार आहे, so that obtained work will be utilized to run the cooling fan, or this is also called as the exhaust fan. So whatever work is obtained because of cooling turbine, that work will be utilized to run the exhaust fan, so that exhaust fan will draw more and more amount of ram air. हे exhaust fan चं फंक्शन काय असणार आहे, ह्या हीट एक्सचेंजर मधून मॅक्सिमम अमाउंट ऑफ रॅम एअर पास करणं. So to draw more and more amount of ram air, what will happen if I will draw the more and more amount of ram air? So because of drawing more and more amount of ram air to the heat exchanger, the temperature of the compressed air will goes on decreasing. That means effectiveness of this heat exchanger will goes on increasing. So for that purpose, I am using this cooling fan, that is also called as the exhaust fan. So this is the entire process which is called as a simple air cooling system, which is used for aircraft refrigeration system. Have you understood this system? Have you understood this system? Write in the comment box so that I will come to know how many students got this point. What about remaining student? If you understood this system, then whatever remaining three systems will be there, those will be only simply modification in this system only. So understanding of this simple air cooling system is very much important. Have you understood? Only 2 students out of 29 understood this system. What about remaining student? What about remaining student? What about remaining student? Is there any query or any question? If you are having any query or any question, you can ask me. कुणाला काय क्वेश्चन किंवा कुणाला काय क्वेरी असेल तर विचारू शकता रिलेटेड टू दिस सिस्टम. ओके, ज्यांना समजलं नाही त्यांच्यासाठी मराठीतून फक्त प्रोसेस सांगतोय की एम्बियंट एअर म्हणजे काय झालं, तुमचं जे काही एरोप्लेन आहे एरोप्लेनच्या सराउंडिंगची जी काही एअर असणार आहे त्याला काय म्हणणार आहे मी, एम्बियंट एअर म्हणणार आहे. ऍट हायर अल्टिट्यूड त्या एम्बियंट एअरचं प्रेशर जे असणार आहे ते काय असणार आहे, तुमच्या ऍटमॉस्फेरिक प्रेशर पेक्षा कमी असणार आहे. ते प्रेशर मी काय म्हणतोय, PA एवढं प्रेशर आहे म्हणतोय, आणि टेम्परेचर काय आहे, T1 एवढं टेम्परेचर आहे असं म्हणतोय. आता ही जी काय पार्ट किंवा ही जी काय सिस्टीम मी दाखवलेली आहे तुम्हाला, ती सिस्टीम कशाला अटॅच असणार आहे, तुमच्या एरोप्लेनला अटॅच असणार आहे. ही जी काही एंटायर सिस्टीम आहे एअर कूलिंग सिस्टीम, ती कशाला अटॅच असणार आहे, तुमच्या एरोप्लेनला अटॅच असणार आहे. आणि तुमचं एरोप्लेन जे आहे ते मुव्हिंग कंडिशन मध्ये. एरोप्लेन जे आहे ते मुव्हिंग कंडिशन मध्ये. आता त्या एरोप्लेनला कुठेतरी स्मॉल ओपनिंग असणार आहे, अँड थ्रू दॅट स्मॉल ओपनिंग देअर विल बी द प्रोव्हिजन टू टेक द ambient एअर इनसाइड दॅट एरोप्लेन. ज्या पद्धतीने तुम्ही बसमधून ट्रॅव्हल करत असताना खिडकीच्या शेजारी बसला असाल आणि खिडकीचं स्मॉल ओपनिंग जर असेल तर त्या ठिकाणी तुम्हाला ऑब्झर्व होतं आउटसाइडची एअर तुमच्या बसमध्ये येते, आणि आउटसाइडची एअर बसमध्ये येत असताना काय होतं त्या ठिकाणी झालेलं आहे. आउटसाइडची एअर बसमध्ये येत असताना त्या ठिकाणी काय होतं, प्रेशर वाढलेलं असतं, आणि तो जो काही इफेक्ट असतो तो जो इफेक्ट असतो त्याला काय म्हणतात, पण रॅमिंग इफेक्ट म्हणतो. कारण की त्या केसमध्ये काय असतं, तुमची बस रनिंग कंडिशन मध्ये असतं आणि साईडला काय ambient एअर आहे. सेम कंडिशन विल ऑकर इन केस ऑफ एरोप्लेन. युअर एरोप्लेन इज इन मोशन कंडिशन or aeroplane is in motion, and whatever surrounding atmospheric air will be there that will come inside the aeroplane, so that effect will be called as a ramming effect. आणि रॅमिंग इफेक्ट मुळे काय होते, प्रेशर देअर विल बी चेंज इन प्रेशर एज वेल एज टेम्परेचर, म्हणजे प्रेशर पण वाढणार आणि टेम्परेचर पण वाढणार आहे. सो व्हॉट एव्हर 1 to 2 प्रोसेस विल टेक्स प्लेस, दॅट 1 to 2 प्रोसेस विल बी कॉल्ड एज अ रॅमिंग प्रोसेस. आणि 1 to 2 प्रोसेस मुळे किंवा रॅमिंग प्रोसेस मुळे काय होते, प्रेशर वाढते कुठून कुठपर्यंत, ambient प्रेशरचं कन्व्हर्जन कशामध्ये होतं, रॅम प्रेशर मध्ये, आणि टेम्परेचर इन्क्रीज होते T1 चं कुठपर्यंत, T2 पर्यंत. आता ही जी काय रॅम एअर आहे ती रॅम एअर आता कुठे आली, तुमच्या एरोप्लेन मध्ये आली. नाउ पार्ट ऑफ दॅट रॅम एअर, ही जी काय कम्प्लीट रॅम एअर आहे, कम्प्लीट रॅम एअर आपण कॉम्प्रेसरला देत नाही. पार्ट ऑफ रॅम एअर विल बी सप्लाइड टू द मेन कॉम्प्रेसर. इनसाइड द मेन कॉम्प्रेसर कॉम्प्रेशन प्रोसेस विल टेक्स प्लेस. म्हणजे तुमची 2 to 3 प्रोसेस जी होणार आहे ती कशामध्ये होणार आहे, मेन कॉम्प्रेसर मध्ये होणार आहे. त्या ठिकाणी काय होणार आहे, कॉम्प्रेशन होणार आहे. कॉम्प्रेशन झाल्यामुळे काय होणार आहे, प्रेशर वाढणार आहे, टेम्परेचर वाढणार आहे. प्रेशर कुठपासून कुठपर्यंत वाढणार आहे, रॅम प्रेशरचं कन्वर्जन कशामध्ये होणार आहे, डिलिव्हरी प्रेशर मध्ये होणार आहे. म्हणजे आउटलेट ऑफ कॉम्प्रेसरचं जे काय प्रेशर असणार आहे त्याला मी काय म्हणणार आहे, डिलिव्हरी प्रेशर म्हणणार आहे. आणि टेम्परेचर कुठपासून कुठपर्यंत वाढणार आहे, रॅम टेम्परेचर जे होतं T2 त्याचं कन्वर्जन कशामध्ये होणार आहे, T3 मध्ये होणार आहे. तर ही झाली कंडिशन कशाची, तुमच्या आउटलेट ऑफ मेन कॉम्प्रेसरच्या एअरची कंडिशन झाली. आता आउटलेट ऑफ मेन कॉम्प्रेसर जे आहे ऍज इट इज आपण हीट एक्सचेंजरला देत नाही. सम पार्ट ऑफ आउटलेट ऑफ मेन कॉम्प्रेसर विल बी प्रोव्हाइडेड टू द कंबशन चेंबर. आणि कंबशन चेंबर मध्ये काय करतोय आपण, फ्युएल मिक्स करतोय. फ्युएल कशामध्ये मिक्स करतोय, ह्या कॉम्प्रेस्ड एअर मध्ये मिक्स करतोय. त्यामुळे ह्या ठिकाणी काय होणार आहे, एअर फ्युएल मिक्सचर होणार आहे. आणि ज्यावेळेस त्या ठिकाणी एअर फ्युएल मिक्सचर बर्न होईल त्यावेळेस जे काही एक्झॉस्ट गॅसेस होणार आहे, जनरेट होणार आहेत, त्या एक्झॉस्ट गॅसेस थ्रू आपण काय करतोय, हा गॅस टर्बाईन रन करतोय. हा गॅस टर्बाईन ठेवण्याचं मेन पर्पज काय, कारण की कॉम्प्रेसरला जी काय दिली जाणारी एनर्जी आहे ते आपण त्या गॅस टर्बाईनच्या सहाय्याने आपण जनरेट करतोय. ते फक्त एवढंच पर्पज आहे त्या गॅस टर्बाईनचं, बाकी काय सुरू नाही. कॉम्प्रेसर रन करणं एवढंच फक्त फंक्शन आहे गॅस टर्बाईनचं. आणि त्यासाठी आपल्याला काय करावं लागतं, कंबशन चेंबर मध्ये फ्युएल मिक्स करून कॉम्प्रेस एअर आणि फ्युएल मिक्स करून त्या ठिकाणी काय करावं लागतं, बर्निंग ऑफ एअर फ्युएल मिक्सचर करावं लागतं आणि ते गॅस टर्बाईनला द्यावं लागतं. आता बाकीची जी काय कॉम्प्रेस्ड एअर असणार आहे, बाकीच्या कॉम्प्रेस्ड एअरचं त्या ठिकाणी प्रेशर टेम्परेचर काय चेंज होणार आहे का, प्रेशर आणि टेम्परेचर सेमच राहणार आहे. कारण की ह्या ठिकाणी थर्मोडायनामिक प्रोसेसच होत नाही. थर्मोडायनामिक प्रोसेस जी होती ती ह्या साईडला होती, पण त्याच्याशी आपल्याला काही घेणं देणं नाही. त्या ठिकाणी थर्मोडायनामिक प्रोसेस होते पण त्याच्याशी आपल्याला काही घेणं देणं नाही. त्याचं मेन पर्पज काय, टू रन द कॉम्प्रेसर. ओके. आता ही जी काय बाकीची जी काही कॉम्प्रेस्ड एअर असणार आहे त्याचं टेम्परेचर आणि प्रेशर काय राहणार आहे, सेमच राहणार आहे. डिलिव्हरी प्रेशर PD आणि टेम्परेचर T3. नाउ दॅट कॉम्प्रेस्ड एअर हॅव्हिंग डिलिव्हरी प्रेशर PD and temperature T3 will be passed through the heat exchanger. त्या हीट एक्सचेंजर मधून पास होणार आहे. आणि हीट एक्सचेंजरच्या कॉइलच्या सराउंडिंगला जी काही एअर असणार आहे ती कोणती असणार आहे, तुमची रॅम एअर असणार आहे. म्हणजे ह्या ठिकाणी जी काही उरलेली एअर आहे कॉम्प्रेसरला देऊन बाकीची जी काही एअर आहे ती कशामधून पास करणार आहे, आपण हीट एक्सचेंजर मधून पास करणार आहे. आणि दॅट रॅम एअर विल बी ऍक्टिंग हिअर, दॅट रॅम एअर इज ऍक्टिंग लाईक अ कूलिंग मीडियम. इट इज ऍक्टिंग लाईक अ कूलिंग मीडियम. अँड बिकॉज ऑफ द सेम ही कॉम्प्रेस्ड एअर जी आहे त्या ठिकाणची पाईप मधून पास होणारी, ज्याचं टेम्परेचर जास्त आहे, प्रेशर जास्त आहे, दॅट विल रिजेक्ट द हीट ऍट कॉन्स्टंट प्रेशर. दॅट विल रिजेक्ट द हीट ऍट कॉन्स्टंट प्रेशर. बिकॉज ऑफ द सेम, that means inside the heat exchanger whatever 3 to 4 process is occurring inside the heat exchanger, that is nothing but the constant pressure heat rejection process. Constant pressure heat rejection process inside the heat exchanger. That's why whatever outlet of heat exchanger will be there, that will have the same pressure. TD's pressure राहणार आहे, फक्त टेम्परेचर काय होणार आहे, कमी होणार आहे. T3 चं कन्वर्जन T4 मध्ये होणार. आता आउटलेट ऑफ हीट एक्सचेंजर जे आहे ते कशाला देतो आपण, कुलिंग टर्बाइनला देतो. आणि कुलिंग टर्बाइन मध्ये काय होणार आहे, ह्या ठिकाणी एक्सपान्शन होणार आहे. कुलिंग टर्बाइन मध्ये त्या ठिकाणी एक्सपान्शन होणार आहे. एक्सपान्शन झाल्यामुळे टेम्परेचर आणि प्रेशर दोन्ही पण काय होणार आहे, रिड्यूस होणार आहे. आता प्रेशर कुठपासून कुठपर्यंत रिड्यूस होणार आहे, डिलिव्हरी प्रेशरचं कन्वर्जन कशामध्ये होणार आहे, केबिन प्रेशर मध्ये होणार आहे. कारण की एरोप्लेनच्या केबिन मध्ये, हे जर एरोप्लेनची केबिन असेल तर ह्या एरोप्लेनच्या केबिन मध्ये जे काय आपल्याला प्रेशर मेंटेन करायचं आहे ते कोणतं मेंटेन करायचं आहे, केबिन प्रेशर. दॅट विल बी नियरली इक्वल टू युअर atmospheric pressure. That will be nearly equal to your atmospheric pressure. Are you getting? So here, because of this expansion, delivery pressure will get converted into cabin pressure. Temperature of that air will also goes on decreasing. आता हे जे काही एअर आपण एरोप्लेन केबिनला सप्लाय करणार आहे ती कसली असणार आहे, एअर कंडिशन एअर असणार आहे. त्या कंडिशन एअर मध्ये कशाची कॅपॅसिटी असणार आहे, दॅट कंडिशन एअर विल हॅव द ॲबिलिटी टू ऍब्झॉर्ब द हीट, ability to absorb the heat which is being generated because of various external and internal parameter, because of various external and internal parameter. So here, because of supplying this condition air to the aeroplane cabin, we are able to produce desirable effect inside the aeroplane cabin. किंवा जे काय आपल्याला 25 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड मेंटेन करायचं होतं एरोप्लेन केबिनच्या प्रेशरला, ते आपण मेंटेन करू शकतो. नाउ whatever this cooling turbine is there, that is also work producing device. So whatever work is being produced by cooling turbine, that will be given to the exhaust fan, and because of this here exhaust fan will work, and that whenever there will be the working of exhaust fan, that exhaust fan will draw maximum amount of ram air through the heat exchanger. And because of this same, as you are increasing the quantity of cooling medium, as you are increasing the quantity of cooling medium, that's why maximum amount of heat will be rejected inside the heat exchanger, and whatever air will be exhausted, that will be supplied to the ambient, or that will be supplied to the atmosphere. So this is the entire process called as a simple air cooling system. आता तर समजलं का? Have you understood at least? Have you understood now? Yes or no? Have you understood? Yes or no? What about remaining student? If your responses will be likewise, then I will not get anything, that whether you are understanding or whether you are not understanding likewise. So until and unless you are not going to give the feedback in between, I will unable to understand whether you are getting the points or you are not getting the points. Now, here, if I want to explain this cycle with the help of TS diagram, here, if I want to explain this cycle with the help of TS diagram, that means I need to draw the TS diagram. So to draw that TS diagram, on y-axis, I'm going to take the temperature line. On x-axis, I'm going to take the entropy line. So here, as various pressures are there, so I need to draw the constant pressure lines on the TS diagram. So I'm knowing the nature of constant pressure line on the TS diagram. So there will be the various lines which will have the constant pressure line. One minute. Okay. So here there will be the number of constant pressure line. So how many constant pressure lines will be there? How many constant pressure lines will be there? So first line will be related to the ambient air. So as we are knowing that ambient air is having the pressure. Ambient air is having the pressure less than atmospheric pressure. So suppose this has an ambient pressure line. Suppose this has an ambient pressure line. Now on that ambient pressure line, I will have the point number 1, which will have the temperature as a T1. So consider this as a point number 1. Consider this as a point number 1, which is indicating the ambient pressure and temperature as a T1. Now, this ambient pressure and temperature T1 here will come inside the aeroplane because of the ramming effect. And here, whatever ramming effect, because of ramming effect, whatever pressure will be increased, that pressure will be increased up to the ram pressure. So here, one more pressure line will be there, that will be called as a ram pressure line. That will be called as a ram pressure line. So here, suppose PR is the ram pressure line. So 1 to 2 process, that is nothing but isentropic compression process. Here, ramming process will be called as a isentropic compression process. So here, 1 to 2 process will take place likewise. This will be the straight line, where pressure will increase from ambient pressure to ram pressure. Ambient pressure to ram pressure. But here, that isentropic means reversible adiabatic. But whenever that air will come inside the aeroplane, there will be the friction. And because of that friction, that process will not be the reversible process. So that process will become as a irreversible process. So that ramming process, ideal ramming, that ramming process will not be the isentropic ramming process. That will be the actual ramming process. So whatever this ram pressure is there, so ram pressure will have the ideal. This is the ideal ram pressure or ideal ram pressure line. So one more pressure line will be there. Because of friction, the value of actual pressure, actual ramming pressure will be less than your theoretical ramming pressure. So that next pressure will be called as a actual ramming pressure. Next pressure will be called as a actual ramming pressure, and whatever actual process, whatever actual ramming process will be there, that will be likewise. That will be called as a 1 to 2 ramming process. So here 2 dash. So here 1 to 2 is considered as a ideal ramming process. 1 to 2 dash is considered as a actual ramming process. आयडियल कधी म्हणणार आहे, ज्यावेळेस फ्रिक्शन होणारच नाही. जर फ्रिक्शन झालं नाही तर ती प्रोसेस कशी असणार आहे, रिव्हर्सिबल असणार आहे. आणि रिव्हर्सिबल असल्यामुळे ते आयसेंट्रॉपिक राहणार आहे. पण जर त्या ठिकाणी फ्रिक्शन झालं तर ती प्रोसेस कशी होणार आहे, इरिव्हर्सिबल होणार आहे. आणि इरिव्हर्सिबल प्रोसेस झाली तर ती आयसेंट्रॉपिक होण्याचा प्रश्नच येत नाही. म्हणजे ती प्रोसेस कोणती असणार आहे, पॉलिट्रॉपिक असणार. सो 1 to 2 dash इज नथिंग बट ऍक्च्युअल रॅमिंग प्रोसेस. आर यू गेटिंग? हे 2 प्रेशर झाले. आता ही जी काय रॅम एअर आहे ती कशाला देतो आपण, मेन कॉम्प्रेसरला देतोय. आणि मेन कॉम्प्रेसर मध्ये काय होते, कॉम्प्रेशन होते, त्या ठिकाणी प्रेशर इन्क्रीज होते. कुठपासून कुठपर्यंत इन्क्रीज होते, रॅम प्रेशर पासून डिलिव्हरी प्रेशर पीडी पर्यंत इन्क्रीज होते. म्हणजे अजून एक प्रेशर लाईन असणार आहे, त्याला काय म्हणणार आहे आपण, डिलिव्हरी प्रेशर लाईन म्हणणार आहे. सो वन मोर प्रेशर लाईन विल बी देअर ऑन द टीयर डायग्राम. सो दॅट विल बी कॉल्ड एज अ डिलिव्हरी प्रेशर. So here, if I'm considering 2 to 3 process as a isentropic compression process, so 2 to 3 process will be likewise. So this will be 2 to 3. जर isentropic झाली तर, आणि जर actual मध्ये ती प्रोसेस कशी असणार आहे. हा थॉमस, is there any query? Thomas?
No, sir.
Okay, here is the hand. That's why I asked you. Okay, so here, if this compression process will be the isentropic compression, then I might have shown that as a 2 dash to 3. But if this will be the here also, because of friction, there will be some irreversibility, and that process will be 2 dash to 3 dash. So here 2 dash to 3 is indicating the ideal compression process or isentropic compression. 2 dash to 3 dash is indicating polytropic compression process. Now here 3 point will be supplied to the heat exchanger. So inside the heat exchanger, what will happen, at a constant pressure heat rejection process will take place. So 3 to 4 process will occur at the same pressure. म्हणजे 3 ते 4 प्रोसेस जी आहे ती सेम डिलिव्हरी प्रेशरला ऑकर होणार आहे. ओनली बिकॉज ऑफ हीट रिजेक्शन the temperature of the air will goes on decreasing, and at the outlet of heat exchanger we will have the same pressure PD, but temperature will goes on decreasing. त्या ठिकाणी 3 पॉईंटचं टेम्परेचर आणि 4 पॉईंटचं टेम्परेचर बघितलं तर त्या ठिकाणी चेंज दिसेल तुम्हाला. So this will be your point number 4. So here point number 4 is nothing but outlet of heat exchanger. Now outlet of heat exchanger will be supplied to the cooling turbine. Cooling turbine मध्ये काय होणार आहे? Cooling turbine मध्ये काय होणार आहे? Inside the cooling turbine, there will be the decreasing pressure as well as decreasing temperature. पण प्रेशर कुठपर्यंत डिक्रीज होणार आहे? केबिन प्रेशर पर्यंत डिक्रीज होणार आहे. आता केबिन प्रेशर म्हणजे जे काही एरोप्लेनचे केबिन असणार आहे त्यामधलं प्रेशर. ऍट हायर अल्टिट्यूडला अँबियंट प्रेशर काय असणार आहे? केबिन प्रेशर पेक्षा कमी असणार आहे. So whatever cabin pressure value will be there, one more pressure line will be there, that will be called as a cabin pressure, and cabin pressure will be in between ambient pressure and ram pressure. So this will be called as a cabin pressure line. This will be called as a cabin pressure line. So whatever 4 to 5 process will take place, that is nothing but isentropic expansion inside the cooling turbine. So that isentropic expansion, their pressure will decreases from delivery pressure to the cabin pressure. So this is the 4 to 5. But here also, because of friction, there will be some irreversibilities, and because of the same, the actual expansion process will be shown likewise. 4 to 5 dash. 4 to 5 dash. So this is the 5 point, which is indicating temperature as a T5 and pressure as a cabin pressure. Now, whenever I'm going to supply this air to the aeroplane cabin, so this air will be able to absorb the heat. This air will able to absorb the heat at constant pressure, and here at a constant pressure, heat absorption will take place inside the aeroplane cabin, and because of the same, here 5 to 6 process will occur inside the aeroplane cabin. So this will be the TS diagram. So here you can see the TS diagram likewise. So whatever this TS diagram will be there, I need to explain this TS diagram once again because of time constraint. I have taken or I have shown this TS diagram likewise. So in the next lecture, with the help of this diagram, I will show how to draw the TS diagram. Are you getting? So in the next lecture, we will see one more time how to draw the TS diagram. So as time is 2 o'clock, so here we have to stop our lecture. So I request you to write your roll number in the chat box. So that will be considered for attendance purpose. So thank you for attending the lecture.